So again, good evening, officially. Thank you for joining. I know it's Thursday evening before the holidays time, Christmas time. Everybody's busy, everybody attending dinners, Christmas dinner, seeing friends, trying to catch up before the festive time, busy buying gifts, etc., etc. So thank you for joining, because this is really, I think, is a really important training, important meeting, important talk, which Petrina was so kind to agree to share her knowledge and wisdom with us. Petrina is Usana associate. She's the bronze director, and as apart from being an Usana associate, she is apart from being a Usana associate and such an amazing Usana associate with knowing all the products and everything, lots of things about health. She is also a TV celebrity. I love saying that because actually she is. She's got her main role as a chef in one of the Sky TV channels, cooking and sharing recipes, which is amazing. Please watch one of her shows if you haven't yet. Apart from that, she's the author of two amazing books. One book is Whole True or the Half True. Did I say right?
This is it anyway. So
yeah, Whole True or the Half True. This is such an amazing. This is such a good read about the difference between the culture to Eastern European, not European, Eastern, like Malaysia and West. So good read, love it. Thank you for sharing that with us, because I think it's really quite fascinating how different we can be. And another good book is about health, actually, which Petrina is very passionate about, and it's about diabetes. How we actually, this one, thank you for sharing, is actually about how we can not only prevent, but I am happy to say the word, heal the diabetes, right? Through our diet, eating, lifestyle, etc., etc. So this is all from me. Welcome, Petrina. Over to you. Looking forward to hearing presentation. If we will have some time, you will be able to ask questions. So please take some notes. If there will be something you would like to ask Petrina at the end of the talk presentation, we will have, if we'll have time, we will do it. Okay. So
hello everyone, and thank you, Anna, for the warm welcome. So raise your hands if you can hear and see me okay, just to double check, or your virtual hands. Thank you. So I'm just about to share my screen. And please raise your hands or virtual hands again if you can see my slides. Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. So once again, thank you, Anna, and thank you, Usana, for inviting me to speak on this topic. The topic I'm going to speak on today is called Lifestyle Matters, Practical Tips for Preventing and Managing Obesity-Driven Diabetes. Now, you can even manage or prevent it, even if when you think time is not in your favor. So this evening, I'm going to share lots of tips, useful tips. So as Anna said, please do take notes. Feel free to take copies of the slides, photos of the slides, screenshots if you wish to. Most of you would have met me at some point. However, for those of you who don't know who I am, here's a snapshot of the last 4 years of my life. I could share the last 50 plus years, but it will take too long. So I've just chosen the last recent 4. As Anna mentioned, I'm an author, or #1 best-selling author of 2 books, Whole Truth, Half Truth. This is a passion book, which I published during lockdown about 4 years ago now. And this book, believe it or not, it was actually mostly written for about 10 years, but I did not get it out. Why? Because I didn't have a clue about publishing. And at the end of 2019, just before lockdown, I met someone who actually said, well, he can help me publish a book, or at least guide me. He was not going to hold my hand, but he was going to help me, and he was going to help me to get the best-selling author status as well on the day of the launch, and he did. So sometime during the lockdown in 2020, in fact, it was September 2020, 1st of September, I actually self-published this book, and it got #1 bestseller on the day itself. And the other book, I'll actually talk about it very shortly, The Diabetes Solution. I run a wellness practice with my husband, Ronald, and we have a YouTube channel. Again, we learned all this during lockdown. We learned a lot during lockdown. If you met me, 5 years ago, I'm a very shy person. I'm very personal. I like to keep things, private. And I was not a fan of being on, social media. However, all that changed during lockdown. I learned, and we now have like about 500 videos on YouTube. Me and my husband. We recently achieved 1,000 subscribers a few months ago, and in total right now we've got over 70,000 views on all of our videos so far. We also have a second channel, YouTube channel, which started as well, so 2 YouTube channels during lockdown. And apart from that, I do crazy things as well. This was me on a friend's trampoline. My friend's a doctor, a GP, and I went to visit her at the end of March, and it was the time when I was actually participating in the Usana 10,000 steps challenge, and it was, my way of just celebrating and doing part of the challenge. So that's me having a bit of fun. And as Anna mentioned, I unintentionally got onto TV cooking. How that happened, very briefly, is I was reading a text one evening in a group chat too fast, and I didn't digest it. I thought they actually wanted guests to be on a TV show. So I put up my hand, and I think I was the only one who actually volunteered. And next thing I got a text saying that, "Are you a chef?" So I said, let me just turn around the misunderstanding. And I said, yes, I am trained, but although I don't do it for a living. So do I qualify? And they said, yes. And I've done like about 15 shows for this channel also. And all the recordings actually on our YouTube channel. And because of that, and it happened just after we published our book, The Diabetes Solution, which also became an Amazon #1 bestseller on the day of the launch. And interesting enough, the book actually beat 2 celebrities' books. The Harry Bikers, they have a book as well. We beat them in the rankings, and we also beat Gordon Ramsay's book as well. So that's a good win. And we talked about the book on TV as well. So we're really, really grateful for all the opportunities. And I thought I actually done my slides completely. There was nothing, but 3 days ago, I actually attended an award ceremony. We're part of a mentorship group, and we were nominees in 4 categories out of 7 that we had qualified in. These are categories. And we became the winner in one of the categories, the best, most improved member. So we're really proud of that as well. Now, the reason why I'm sharing all this is not so much to impress you, but actually impress on you that most of us, we are, we class ourselves as ordinary human beings, but you can achieve and do so much if you put your mind to it. And that also applies to your health as well. So that's a snapshot about me. So let's talk about the topic of diabetes now. Tonight's talk is not really on diabetes, but more on the prevention and then the measures you can take. So I'm not going to explain diabetes in detail, but just a simple explanation. Diabetes is when your body has not made enough insulin so that it cannot use it as well as it should. Insulin is a hormone that lowers the level of glucose in the blood. And when you're obese, the definition of obesity is when there are abnormal or excessive fat accumulation that presents a health risk. Now, these are statistics, interesting ones. On the 9th of May 2023, the UK has the most obese population in Europe. 63.7% of the population in the UK is overweight. Now, that is a lot of people, and this is why we're actually also having this webinar to actually help to educate us as well. So during a health survey of England in 2021, it was estimated that 25.9% of adults are obese, and estimated 37.9% are overweight, but not obese. And over 4.3 million people in the UK live with diabetes, with another 850,000 possibly with undiagnosed diabetes. So this is a lot of people. Diabetes, normally the measurement is by the body mass index, BMI. And if your BMI is over 25, then you have a high chance of being obese and getting diabetes, or overweight and being diabetes as well. So that's the chart for the men. I won't go through too much in detail this one, because we had another training about a month ago where Coach Nani actually explained all this as well. I attended a medical talk conference a few weeks ago and actually borrowed this slide from one of the speakers. He actually shared that in 2021, it is estimated that 537 million people have diabetes, and by the year 2030, 643 million. And it's going to be 783 million estimated by the year 2045. We're in 2023, we're not that far away. And these are the projections, estimations as well. So globally, diabetes is responsible for 1 death in every 8 seconds. And this is, so significant. And many people, the age between 20 and 79, have died from diabetes-related causes in 2021. So symptoms of diabetes, just to name a few: increased thirst, getting thirsty, unexplained weight loss, increased hunger, fatigue, slow healing of wounds, numbness of hands, blurred vision, frequent urination, and dry skin. And the complications of diabetes, just to name a few, could have stroke, kidney failure, foot problems, cataracts, or glaucoma, heart disease, and vascular disease. Now, the next slide, in case you're watching with anyone who is a bit sensitive to very visual pictures, I would warn you that it's not going to be pleasant. So if you just if you've got any children, just please, get them away from the screen for now, for the next 2 slides. So this is an example of the diabetic foot, where they've got ulcers or wounds that have taken a long time to heal. And eventually, if the wounds do not heal, then there is a strong chance that you need to have it amputated. We personally helped a person who had diabetes, and he had an injury in his toe. Now, when he went to the doctor, thankfully, in the hospital, he was wise enough to actually, before the hospital actually got him to sign a form saying that they wanted to amputate his whole foot itself from here onwards. But his injury was only in one of the smaller toes. So thankfully, he actually had the sense of smartness to actually tell the nurse, saying that he is going to sign the disclaimer, but he does not want his entire foot to be amputated. And he said, if he does, then, there'll be problems. So thankfully, when he was put under anesthetic and made to sleep, he woke up with his foot. He just had a little bit of slice of his toe actually amputated because of the infection itself. And amputation, reason why we have it is because when your foot or your limb is actually wounded and it takes time to heal, it affects the limbs. So according to the American Diabetes Association worldwide, a person loses a limb due to diabetes-related complications every 30 seconds. Just imagine that. And I just explained, due to the reduced blood flow, wounds take a longer time to heal or do not heal at all. And as a result, the tissue becomes damaged and an infection can develop and spread to the bones. So when this happens, amputation is most of the time the only option to prevent further damage to the body itself. So today's talk is about how to, become healthier. So I've designed this thing called the 5 C's to empower your journey to health. The first one starts with commitment. Now, every one of us can say, yes, we want to be healthy, but how committed are you? We're at the stage at this end of year where many people are going out for parties, celebration, which is great. However, you always notice that come early beginning of a new year, new calendar year, people make various commitments, but how many of us actually stick to those so-called New Year resolutions or New Year commitments? Not many of us. I'm also guilty of not committing to a lot of things as well, because we make decisions at the moment in time, but when our feelings or the tiredness or the stress takes place, we tend to actually, just come off the goals that we've set. So commitment is really a strong dedication of making possible health choices and sticking to them. As the saying goes, commitment is basically doing the thing that you said you were going to do in the moment where you said it, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days where we don't feel like it because of various things that are happening in our lives. However, commitment is basically doing our best to actually stick to those choices itself. Consistency is another important one, and that's to establish and maintain regular healthy eating habits over time. Okay, the third one, just to also remind you that one good meal won't make you healthy, and one bad meal won't make you fat or unhealthy. So bear this in mind, especially over the festive season. Yes, you can enjoy those, unhealthier snacks, but or you can eat a very healthy meal, but just remember that one little change won't make you, either healthy or unhealthy. Being part of a like-minded community is also very important. So it's important to surround yourself with like-minded, supportive people. So, for example, most of us have friends and family who may not value their health as much as we do. Yes, we can mix with them, we can network with them. However, we must be mindful as well. You need to mix more or network more or socialize more with the people who are on the same path of health as you. Otherwise, they will actually bring you down or bring you up. Okay, and the mind is very important as well. So basically develop a mindful and informed approach to health, understanding the impact of choices, both physical and mental well-being. And last but not least, the last C is the culinary. We come from various cultures. There are certain foods from certain cultures that are healthy. For example, for me, when I came from Malaysia to the UK, I was not familiar with eating things like olives, although I knew it was good. And when I first tasted olives, I did not like it because it was quite salty for me. But eventually, actually, my taste buds changed. And now if you give me a bowl of olives, I can actually eat it. So just be open-minded to the changes and foods that are introduced to you that may be better for you. Okay, so the choices we make today create the future that we are dreaming of. That's the saying. And I've also got for you the 7 M's for a healthy lifestyle. Mindset is very important. So it's important to cultivate a positive mindset and be present in the moment, whatever you're doing. So for example, if you're watching this webinar right now, be present, learn, rather than try to multitask, because it's actually going to get you further than if you not focus on something that you're on at the moment. Meal choices, always important, especially this time of year. We are approached with so many different meal choices. So make sure you make a balanced meal choice. And even this time of year, it's cold, but keep hydrated, and keep hydrated self as well. Portion control, do exercise portion control, as overeating can promote weight management. Movement, always engage in, if you can, aerobic type exercises, strength training, flexibility for overall fitness. Sleep is so important, but so underrated at times as well. I've been to talks where I've heard speakers saying, just work all the hours you can and earn all the money you can. Don't worry about sleep. But this is something we don't really agree to, because sleep is ever so important. And stress management. Be mindful of how you manage your stress in your time, and also practice deep breathing techniques. I've realized that in times of when I'm stressed, when I'm under time pressure, I notice that I'm actually not breathing deep. So I'm actually very mindful these days to actually try to breathe deeper in the moments where there's actually a lot of stress as well. Okay, medical checkups. We all have, check our cars, check our vehicles. We check our boilers at least once a year. Why not remember to actually do your own medical checkups at least once a year as well, dental, optical, and overall checkup as well. And obviously keep expanding your mind to actually learn the interesting and knowledgeable things. Now, the link between obesity and diabetes is very clear. Excess body fat, especially around the abdomen, is going to lead to insulin resistance. Obesity is a major risk of type 2 diabetes. Obesity triggers chronic inflammation in fat tissue, worsening insulin resistance and diabetes risk. Sedentary lifestyle and poor choices, such as processed foods, foods that are high in sugar, worsen obesity and risk of diabetes. Now, this is an interesting thing. Genetics makes some more prone to both obesity and diabetes. However, I've got good news for you. The good news is you may be born from your parents or your ancestry who may have certain illnesses, such as diabetes. However, we've managed to prove that you can actually prevent it by managing the environment you're in and also the actions you take. So genetics, part of the human being composite, only applies to 1/3 of your chances of actually developing the illness itself that runs in your family. So the 6 P's of prevention and managing diabetes, already know, prudent eating, balance your meals, and choose make better health choices. Be proactive in your management for your weight as well. And practice pressure reduction, which is managing your stress through techniques like mindfulness and periodic monitoring. As I mentioned, do go for checkups as well if you're in that range of being pre-diabetic or diabetic. And proper rest, I've mentioned that before as well, having adequate sleep. The practical approach, a healthy lifestyle, is a cost-effective and practical means of preventing and managing diabetes. So while weight loss is important, what's more important is the quality of food you put in your body. So many of us are so engrossed about calorie counting when it comes to weight loss. However, you need to be mindful as well that certain food choices that you make, which may not be high in calories, may be high in chemicals. So always choose the more natural foods as opposed to the processed type foods. No matter how old you are, no matter how much you weigh, you can still control the health of your body. And this is why actually I shared the wins that I had the last 4 years, because, at the age of 50 plus, I achieved all that. So there's never like a time where you can say it's too late. As long as you have the mindset, you have the commitment, you have the consistency of making those healthier choices, you can actually control the health of your body. This is a photo of one of my friends who is a personal trainer. She kindly allowed me to share this photo of her. So remind us that, our health journey, it's not going to be a sprint. It's actually going to be a journey itself. Okay, the impact of stress on diabetes and obesity. First of all, obviously, there's the physiological disruption of hormones, hormone imbalance or balances itself. The strain often leads us to make unhealthy food choices or have unhealthy behaviors like being sedentary that will increase the complications of diabetes management. Physical changes, stress-induced habits such as overeating. Most of us tend to comfort eat on the wrong foods as well, and that contributes to the physical changes as well. Profound interconnection. There's a profound interconnection between stress, diabetes, and obesity. So just be mindful. And obviously preventative measures. Stress management, again, I stress it a lot, and healthy lifestyle choices is crucial in addressing the impact of diabetes and obesity. Now, here are some stress reduction techniques that I'm going to share. There are many, but I've just selected about 12. First one is, as I mentioned before, deep breathing exercises. When you find you're in a stressful situation, you can't think, there's so many things going on, just take a few moments to actually breathe deep. So basically, you inhale for like 4 counts, 4 seconds, and you exhale, and you'll find that, things will be a lot calmer. You'll be able to think better as well. There is also this technique called progressive muscle relaxation. So basically what it helps you to do is, if you tense a certain muscle in your body, for example, your biceps, and release it, relax it, and do that with the rest of the muscles in your body as well, you will find that it's a way of actually reducing stress as well. Third one is guided imagery. So sometimes when you're stressed, you're busy, just close your eyes, take yourself out of that situation and imagine yourself being in a place that you like, maybe on the beach, traveling to a nice place. Just go to that place in your mind. And then when you come back, the problem or the stress that you're going through will not, I guarantee you, will not be as bad as it was before. Other stress reduction techniques include art and creativity. So you may not have to be an artist or, very creative, but, if you just take some time, take some color pencils or some highlighters, try to draw something, create some art, or, do some things like origami if you're good at those things, or even sewing, things like that. That will actually also change your mindset when you come to times of stress. Nature walks. We can always go for a walk, especially if you live outside of the city. Go for a walk and you'll find that it'll be very peaceful. Look at the animals, look at the wild animals. We live in a place where thankfully got a park nearby, and we've got things like animals like foxes, like squirrels. They come to our garden. Our neighbors' cats come to our garden, and sometimes we just observe them, observe the way they behave, and it's just so relaxing when you appreciate nature. Listen to music. Listen to your favorite music. So when you're stressed again, just put on a bit of music, be it, classical music's good one, easy listening music's good one as well, or a bit of, more lively dancing type music. That will actually lift your mood as well. Next one is aromatherapy. Smells. You'll just be amazed how beautiful certain smells are, such as those from lavender, lemon, lemongrass, mint, and wild orange. That just lifts your mood. Now, you don't have to invest in, the essential oils. If you have like even lemon at home, fresh lemon, just cut some. Sometimes you can actually get fresh lavender flowers, depending where you are. Just get some and keep them, and, keep them in the time where you actually need them. You'll actually find it's so refreshing. Laughter, humor is great. I remember I like to watch comedies because it just lifts the mood, lifts the energy as well. So having good laugh, you may either watch a movie that's a comedy, or we socialize, go out with some friends and just have a good laugh, have a good meal, and you'll find, or even a nice drink, change of environment, that will actually help reduce the stress as well. Digital detox. Now, this is a challenge. I've actually tried it many times and it's actually worked. Many times in terms like, for example, the last week I was away for 2.5 days. I chose not to bring my laptop. And, nobody died. There was no emergency. Things can work without a laptop. Obviously, I had my phone for obvious reasons. But, I made do without a laptop because I knew I was not going to have time to actually even access, the website and stuff like that. So I left my laptop behind, and it was a weekend plus 2 working days. So this is the risk I took. And as I said, the world carried on. So try that slowly, even maybe half a day, 1 day, do without your laptop. Now, time optimization and not time management. A lot of people, they talk about time management. Honestly, we can't really manage time because, time is just ticking on every second as we go along. So the best thing is actually to optimize the time we have. We all have the same amount of time every day, 24 hours. So the trick is actually optimize your time. What I found is that when you are about to go on a holiday or when you've got a deadline to meet, this is where we become really creative and really productive, because we know we need to be focused. I personally found that just before holiday, I get a lot of things done because I know I need to get it done. Or just before a trip, I always get a lot of things done because it's just the way I optimize time. So be mindful how you actually use your time as well. And this is how you will actually be able to make the best use of time. Have a hot bath and shower. That, lifts us up as Bruce Moon as well. I want to share with you a real life case study of a friend of mine, someone I met just over 2 years ago. She's pre-diabetic, and she's been pre-diabetic for about 10 years. Now, the reason why she's not become diabetic is because she's disciplined. Now, this lady, she's in her mid-70s, so just to prove that, age is not a deterrent. She loves to socialize. I met her 2 years ago, and she loves, we meet like maybe 2-3 times a month or even more sometimes. And most of the time is eating out. However, when we do eat out, we're actually mindful of what we choose as well. Yes, we will choose certain dishes that we like, but we're also mindful as to which dishes are not healthy. So we try to avoid those dishes as well. So you can actually have fun, go out, and being sociable should not be a hindrance to your health as well. The lady recently lost her husband. That was 2 years ago when I met her. She had just lost her husband. So she's on her own. But she's proven that, living on your own is not an excuse to not be healthy. I meet so many people who say, oh, they're single or they live on their own and they can't cook or they can't even prepare a meal. But, when you put your mind to it, then you can actually make those changes. And what I love about this lady is she's open-minded to change, because when she met me, she knew I was actually into health. And I actually taught her quite a lot of things as well. And even although she's, at the age of 70 plus, she listens to me. And she's like, a mom to me as well. So one other thing I wanted to share is that you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. I have met many personal trainers along my time. Some of them, they actually don't live the life. Many people think personal trainers, with all due respect, if anyone knows one, I do respect them. However, I've met quite a few of them who actually think they're healthy, but they're not. They smoke. I've personally met one who actually got away with it because he was clubbing or dancing 7 days a week. But guess what he was eating? He was eating fried chicken and chips every night. Now you tell me the balance. I would rather not be exercising 7 days a week and eating healthy versus, trying to exercise 7 days a week and eating unhealthy every day. Tips on grocery shopping and meal planning. Basically plan ahead, have a list. When you go to the shops, they are very smart. If you ever study the psychology of how the shops display their goods, there's always, the unhealthy treats right in the front as you enter, and also close to the tills, because they depend on us impulse buying. So when you go to shops, obviously make sure that you avoid those little tricks from the shops as well. Choose whole foods, such as fresh produce versus processed foods. And read the labels. As I said, many foods that are labeled as, healthier foods may not always be the case. So be mindful of the labeling as well. And select lean meats and fresh fish, such as poultry, fish, tofu, or legumes. And also choose the healthier fats, such as from avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil. So these are just our recommendations of the choices of food that you can move towards if you are choosing the unhealthy foods. For example, instead of eating white rice, there are versions of brown, red, and wild rice which you can find, which are a lot healthier. Same with the white potato. Change it to the Pontiac potato, which is a red skin potato. The photo is there. And you may also have seen there's a potato which is purple in color that's very nutritious as well, or even a sweet potato. And one other tip is most of us have been taught to actually peel the potatoes, but really the nutrients are actually just under the skin. So it's actually best to wash the potatoes, but also eat the skin. White bread, white wheat bread. There are also choices of spelt, rye, or sourdough bread. And again, the next time you buy white bread, especially these type of loaves, bring it home and try to compress it with your hand. You'll find that that large loaf, which you thought was really good value, when you press it with your hands, is really full of air and you'll actually come up with a very small ball. You try the same with the sourdough or the spelt or rye bread, you'll actually not be able to compress it because it's actually full of goodness. And this is why when you eat those sort of better breads, you actually feel fuller for longer because it's not full of air and chemicals. White sugar versus the natural honey or molasses. Molasses is more or less like the first grade of the sugar itself. So it's actually less sweet, but it's darker and it's less processed as well. And honey, as you know, is nature from bees. So that is natural compared to the white processed sugar. And last but not least, the red or processed meats. Swap it with wild fish, turkey, or free-range chicken. These are some of the simple exercises, about 10 I've chosen, that you can do on a daily basis. You don't have to belong to a gym or, go to the gym. You can walk to work, walk around your house, march on the spot. You do something called body weight squats, as in the photo, or if you're a bit not so mobile or not so great with balance, you can actually also do chair squats. Squat and make sure that you land on the chair or sit on the chair so that in case you lose your balance, you actually support by the chair. Chair aerobics if you're not someone who is not so mobile. Tricep dips. So again, you don't have to have weights at home, or if you do want to use weights, you can use things like flask which has liquids in it, preferably not boiling liquids, or even water bottles are great weights as well. Or you can just do tricep dips with your own body weight. Standing leg raises, again, for those who want to improve their mobility and balance. Calf raises. All of us, or most of us, have access to steps at home, or you can have the physical steps as well. So you do calf raises on that as well. You actually find that you build up your leg muscles, your calf muscles well as well. Wall push-ups. Many people struggle, especially ladies, struggle with the normal floor push-ups. So wall push-ups are an easy alternative to actually get yourself in shape as well. And the plank. Plank is really great for especially the abdominals. Tips on incorporating more movement into daily routines. Most of you know this, but whether you've practiced it is another question. So take the stairs instead of a lift or elevator. Park further away or walk to work or bike to the shops. Desk exercises, you can, instead of sitting on your desk or computer, invest in, like what I'm doing right now. I'm actually standing. I've actually got a computer stand, so I'm actually standing. So that actually helps as well if you want to just, move your legs and things like that. Stand up and avoid long periods of sitting down. So every, say, 20 minutes or so, set your alarm on your phone or, your clock and just get moving. Commute more, so walk more and rely less on public transport. Dance, move. You may not be the best dancer, but just do some movement to your favorite music several times a week or even at home. And even household chores such as vacuuming and gardening can add to your daily activity. Last but not least, stretch. Do a bit of stretching, just like that, for example. Yeah, so that will actually improve your flexibility and help you to relax as well. So just remember, as I mentioned, consistency is key. Find opportunities to move throughout the day. Let me give you an example. I work quite a lot from home or even in the office. And instead of sitting on my desk all day, I have a room, obviously a work room. And obviously there's a rubbish bin or a waste paper basket. Sometimes, most of the times actually, when there's rubbish, I actually, instead of putting the rubbish in the bin that's in the room, I actually walk to the kitchen on purpose, or I walk upstairs on purpose and put it in those bins because I know that helps me to actually move a lot more as well, even while at home. Make physical activity a natural part of your routine. Enjoy, make life enjoyable and sustainable, and always listen to your body. Choose activities that are in alignment with your fitness level and health status. So try not to go competing, especially when you're at the age 35 plus above. Try not to actually, try to compete with athletes who have been doing it for a long time. Okay. And this is a photo of a consistent ladder. When you do things consistently, it may be smaller steps. However, it's going to be a lot easier than having those inconsistent one-off steps. A good example is end of year. Instead of trying to say early year, we're going to do a crash diet and things like that. If you're consistent throughout the year, you'll find it's more manageable than trying to just change on the 1st of January. So just to remind you, you may not be in control of the length of your life. However, you can be in control of the quality of your life. A healthy body is a healthy life. And our bodies are really our gardens. And our wills, the decisions we make, are our gardeners. So this comes to the end of my presentation. Just remind you that wellness is a connection of parts, a balance of knowledge, and also the action that you take. You can have a lot of knowledge from webinars like this, but if you don't take any action, then it's not going to work. Okay, so as I promised at the start of the seminar, there's actually a gift I'd like to gift all of you, even those who watch on replay. We have a appointment system where you can actually book in to have a chat with us for about 15 to 20 minutes or so on Zoom at a mutually convenient time. If you've got any health concerns, any questions, do you want any tips that you need to have for your health, just connect with me and I'll book you in and we can have a chat and let's see how we can help you. So thank you very much once again for listening till the end. Appreciate all of you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Usana, for inviting me to share this.
Thank you so much, Petrina. It was amazing, and I love what you said. Without an action, nothing can happen. So set your goals slowly, and a very powerful what you said. Slowly, and not really big step. Every day, do something. Be consistent, right? Be consistent. I know lots of you who is in this call can actually resonate with that. We've got Bernadette, who she's lost, I would know, 15, 20 kilo this year. I don't know, enormous. Like, and then it happened without her actually knowing, because when she really wanted to lose weight, try, it didn't work. And now suddenly I said, yeah, I'm going to just be consistent. And I'm going to just eat healthy. And happened. There's no miracle. This is what you have to happen if you're consistent and you're trying to do your best. So do you have any questions, guys? No, it was an amazing presentation, Petrina. Lots of knowledge and just eye-opening stuff. Sometimes we think like, yeah, that's obvious. We need to eat healthy, but we actually got to do it. And then to me, what's the key to it is homemade food, isn't it? Because then you know what it is, what's in there. Homemade food. There's no processed oil they've been used, you God knows how many times. So yeah, please, this is crucial. And then no any disease will be dangerous for us if we'll be following those steps you said. This just eating, trying not to get so much stress in a life. I know sometimes it's impossible, but you gotta just stay content, calm, and just get the life the way it's going, isn't it? So thank you for that. Thank you, Petrina, so much. Thank you everyone for joining, and I see you the next training is next Thursday. So that's what we're doing every Thursday in the UK. We will be having some meetings, trainings. So next week is the training with the Italian team, teaching us about the weight loss challenge activities and how to organize the club in your team. Okay, so thank you again, Petrina. Appreciate you. Thank you everybody for joining, and have a wonderful evening. That's a lot. Bye-bye.